Hello everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Jeanne and I have the pleasure to host this talk on the underground techno scene. So it's a very general topic, large subject that we could talk about in many ways, but we're going to look at a bit the definition of the underground, the impact that it has on artists, career and productions, social media as well, the impact of the pandemic, with views from the Paris scene as well as the Munich scene. So to talk about this, I'm very pleased to have Saulière from Raise Agency from Paris. Hi.
Hi.
So the manager of the agency and the founder as well as artist Karl Max. Hi.
Hello.
And artist CAIVA.
Hi.
Hello. So thank you so much for being here. So to try to dive in the subject, we thought that it was going to be interesting to have a bit of a definition of what the underground means, so that we know that what we're talking about for around an hour. So I'm going to ask you maybe to try to describe in your own words what the underground techno means to you, both as a manager and as artists. So yeah, what does the underground mean to you?
Maybe you can start.
If you're up to you. Yeah, so it's quite complicated, I think, to define properly the underground scene, what it is really, because it's quite subjective. Because, for instance, if you are talking about I don't know, Amélie Lance to my grandmother, she doesn't know her. So, but for guys like us, it's well known, and you can see that it's quite complicated. But for me, I think we can see in 4 different ways the underground, with 3 different stuff. The product, for sure, as the music and stuff. The price also, because if you're underground, you cannot, sell your music for free or doing stuff like this. Also the promotion, you cannot be in some kinds of media or, in front of big billboard in the top of a building. And also about all the distribution and promotion. For instance, there are some difference between someone who is selling his music into small little shop, very, how to say, elitist, small vinyl shop, and the big shop and stuff like this. So it really depends how you define your marketing and also your product as a music producer, because music is a product, so you have to define this. But for me, the underground now, and not like before, during all this huge area of, Detroit, Atlanta. Now, underground is more about marketing, an experience, and no more about something really special, a small scene with few guys that they are, they know each other. You have to be involved into this scene to be part of it. So now it's quite different, I think.
Okay, Jacob, do you agree?
Yes, a little bit. No, yes, of course, because we talk about it. Underground, like you said, it's really a difficult question, because we can have a definition in opposition to mainstream electronic music, on fight against mainstream music. But when you work in the underground scene, you need to know that you are working in the niche market. So there are rules, there are codes. And for example, I went last year to the Exit Festival in Serbia, and I was thinking, wow, it's not for me. even if Daxji was playing there, Kobozilis was playing there too, but it's like fries, beer, and big fireworks everywhere. But it's for a lot of people. It's really mainstream. It's really cool for them. But I couldn't go on day 2 because it wasn't for me. So maybe underground is more for the club scene. I think we will talk about this, about the different trends in the club in France or in Berlin. And, it's really a difficult question, but it's cool to have it in introduction.
Yeah. Do you agree as well with this?
Of course, I agree, and I think it's really difficult to, as you said, guys, it's really difficult to define it. But I think it gets easier if you compare it to the mainstream, definitely. Also,
yeah. Do you mean the mainstream music, or mainstream electronic music, or mainstream music as a whole?
As a whole, I mean, like with music, artists, promotion, and all the points that you said, actually. And sometimes I feel like the underground is also really important to, be the contrast or like the opposite, and to create a space for all the rest next to the mainstream parts.
Yeah, definitely. There are some very good points of definition. Moving on to your personal experience with the underground scene, as artists, do you feel like you have to position yourself on a specific scene? Does it impact you to have to comply to certain rules, maybe like the points that you already mentioned? Do you feel like they have an impact on the way that you see your work?
Yeah, I think so. Because when you are into this kind of music, like techno, house, more experimental and stuff, all the time you have to think about what's next. And the fact that thinking and producing about with this in mind, you cannot be in the moment and be mainstream, because mainstream is out now, making music that people want to listening and dancing. And the fact that if you want to be underground, you have to think what's next. So most of the time, you have to try different stuff and not to stay in what you are used to produce. So that's the difficult stuff. Not try and to stay into the comfort zone and go forward. So in your production mindset, you all the time thinking about what's next. People, okay, today everybody here in Berlin or in Paris are listening our music, our techno, and you think, okay, so everybody now enjoy this. But if you want to stay into this scene, you have to propose and try to do the next thing.
Is this a pressure for you to have to always be innovative?
Quite a pressure, because if you are not doing this, you will stay, and after you can forget your career, and you can forget all the bookings in cool clubs or cool venue, because after, if you I don't know the English for, but in France we have this to rater le coche.
Missing the alarm, missing the
missing the train or something like this. And if yes, after it's too, it's not good for you.
Yeah. KAIVA, would you agree?
Definitely. For me, it was, or still is, like a big pressure, because I always felt like I need to find my position in the scene, also with my sound, of course. And I realized that it kills my confidence and my creativity 100%. So what I try now is to just get all of these thoughts out of my head and just try to make my music, And also, like, because I had this pressure, or I made it for myself, like I didn't want to produce mainstream sound because I felt like I need to do something more individual or like more special. But now I just try to do what I like and I don't care about if it's mainstream or underground. I just want to do my thing, kind of. And that's like super freeing. It feels really freeing, yeah.
And do you feel like the people follow you on the things that you are doing in a more personal way?
Definitely. So it's like the more I just do what I like and try to be myself, the more positive feedback I get. So that's nice.
That's very nice. Jacob, you have more of the manager position. I mean, you have the manager position. So do you feel like you have to position your artists in a specific scene too? Like, how does it impact your work?
You know, I'm working with these two guys, with CAIVA and Karl Marx, and we spoke a lot about music trends. And it's my job to follow the trends and to see what's going on the scene. But it's my job to accept their own trends, you know. Because I have, for example, an artist in my agency. Her name is Tocetti, Tocetti for the French, and she's doing mental techno. So at the beginning, I was telling her, "Whoa, your sound needs to be faster on everything." And after I had more experience and just told her, "Oh, just do your music. It's all about groove. It's all about what you feel. If you feel right with your music, let's release it. It's really cool." And every artist needs to think like this. We need to follow trends and everything, but some of the style are intemporel.
Like they are out of time?
Yeah, they are out of time. On doing some out of time music, it's I think the goal for. But that's one answer for Tocetti. But for Karl Marx, we will have a different conversation. I have 9 artists. I have 9 plans, different plans for. I have one plan for each of them.
And so when you look for artists as well, do you prefer to have someone that is in the trends or to have someone that is forward thinking, like you were saying, Karl Marx?
No, I think I'm looking for something unique. And when I feel this in the music, and when I talk with the artist, I think when it's a match, you know. And when I feel this, we can work together. Because one of the main thing working with an agency, it's really important to talk a lot because it's your team after, and to have a lot of debate about music and everything. And it's important that you have your own personality in this game. For me, it's like a big game, the underground scene. And for example, the manager or the agent needs to be the first one to believe in you. For example, Lace is an artist of my agency. She started to work with us 1 or 2 years ago. Everybody in the agency was telling me, "Wow, what the fuck? Who is this artist?" and everything. And we just released her EP 1 month ago. And it's a big success. She has a lot of gigs now, and she's doing her song, and that's what I'm looking for.
Speaking about Lace, we were discussing yesterday, and you told me that you kind of found her through social media.
I'm a digger. I'm a digger on Instagram because it's really important to have your own way to communicate. It's really important to have your music on your way to communicate. And like Karl Marx have it, CAIVA too. And because it's a tool. You need to be used to use your social media. It's really important to promote yourself.
speaking of social media, how do you think that it can impact the underground scene? Do you feel like it has that it has have an impact, or it does not? And if so, how? Is it more negative or positive?
Maybe I can say something. So I think social media is really strong in these days, and it's sometimes I feel like it's a guide for like how you need to look like and how you need to dance like and how you need to behave to be part of the mainstream techno scene, I guess. So, and I also feel like everyone is taking photos, everyone is taking videos, and that's really hard because for me, also like the underground is something super personal and intimate.
Yeah.
And I think if you know that you get filmed, it gets destroyed because you can't lose yourself anymore, and so this is a hard thing for the scene, like for the whole scene.
Can I say something? And, the most the most used social media is Instagram.
Yeah.
And Instagram is a photos social media, and it's why it's fucked up, because you need to show your face all the time to get in a good relationship with the algorithm, you know. If you just publish, I don't know, artwork of an event or something like this, you will have 30 likes, and if you show your face, you will have 300 likes. So it's a fucked up game. So you need to use it like a tool. We don't have a specialized social media for music, and that is missing.
The fact that there is a kind of paradox with all social medias, because in one hand, as you said before, previously, yeah, okay, when you go into some clubs, they put some stickers to your camera in order to not be able to take some videos or photos. So, okay, this is underground. But at the same time, the same artists who are playing at the same party are using this social media, but as a tool. And this should stay just like a tool, nothing more. Because we can see at now, and that's the problem for me, there are a lot of artists that they put everything into social media, and they are booked just because they got followers. They get followers, but it's not how to say. No, but I just want to say that it's not because you are 10K or even more followers that you are a good producer, good DJ. And the fact that today there are a lot of promoters, I don't think it's the case in Berlin, but in Italy, in France, the fact that you have followers, you are a good producer, you are a good DJ, and you have to be booked in those kind of party and stuff. And that's the problem. That's the contradiction between social media and the scene in which we pretend to be underground. But by definition, social media, this is the total contrary of the underground scene.
Yeah, but this is a rule in Berlin too, because I had a discussion with a promoter for a booking, and she told me, "Oh, I can't pay this for your artist. He has only 7K on Instagram." I was, "What the fuck? What are we talking about? Are we talking about music and something like this?" So, yeah, I think this is a rule everywhere.
In Paris, we don't have this thing of this no picture policy. The clubs let us take pictures and everything. Do you think that it has an impact on the underground, especially since you can have the comparison with here partying in Berlin and partying in France? How do you feel that it impacts the scene?
Paris is a special scene because there are clubs in Paris, but they're not really a trend, and they have a lot of movement in opposition who grew up. It's a warehouse scene, and it's a big venue, like Possession, Fait Croquet, Exil, and everything. And because the club here in Berlin are like the place where you will find some freedom. And in Paris, it's not the case. So it's why they do they made up this warehouse scene. I worked 3 years for the French Parisian promoter and organized some warehouse party. And sorry, there wasn't so no policy because it was big stages, a lot of people. It's not the same vibe.
Yeah, this is what you said. The fact that in Paris we don't have like this huge club culture, so that's why they organize a lot of parties into warehouse. And I think because of the techno scene in Paris, not like in Berlin, is quite new. I want to say in Paris, it's big 3, 4. It starts with Concrete, with all the guys like François X, Shlomo, AWB. But before, there was nothing. So that's why maybe people are not, educated. And that's the feeling. Just like 2 hours ago, we were to BCCO Open Air, just 10 minutes far away from here. And I said to Jacob, what the fuck? I love the vibe here. And no one who was, taking videos or pictures, just dancing, enjoy the moment. But if you're doing the same party in France, in Paris, it's the total contrary because people, it's now, as I said before, it's more about fashion, marketing in Paris. It's the trend, not in Berlin, because you have some deep roots regarding the techno scene, so that's why it's not the same.
Yeah, it's true that even the warehouses, which are supposed to be like the free spaces for everyone, all genres, all bodies, even there now, like it's getting more and more known, and so we don't really have those spaces anymore for the underground.
And the fact that I think, like when you are former promoter like Jacob, who are organizing party with 1,000 and 1,000 people who are selling tickets for 20, 30 euros, or you can say that you are underground. So that's again and again a paradox, a contradiction between the underground scene and what's really going on. Want to add something?
I have nothing to add about the scene in Paris, but
how is it in Munich?
In Munich, it's, if we talk about education and stuff, I think it's really, or what I experience now, like after the clubs reopened, was a young generation that was maybe too young to get in clubs before COVID. And I have the feeling that the young generation, because they weren't able to experience the underground, of course, because it just didn't happen. Like nothing, all the parties were cancelled. And I feel like everything they know about the scene is all about social media, So it's like they didn't experience it, but saw a lot of videos and stuff, and now they get into the scene and really need to be educated because they just, it's just more about the style and about the way of dancing. I don't know, Jacob?
But we don't, I think we shouldn't idealize Berlin scene too, because there is, with this art techno trends, there is the same code, you know, the style, the dance, and everything. And sometimes I went to parties where I felt like, what the fuck is this party? They are all the same, but it's just I am old, you know. It's it's really subjective. But do you know, for example, an example is Techno Germany, the Instagram. Yeah, that's really interesting to look at this Instagram profile, because you feel that that's the trends for the young people. And there is dance, there is style, there is and can you say it? Can you talk about your experience at night parties?
No.
I mean,
No, but this is a great example of the fact that underground is no more, you know, a niche, but it's more, as I said, a marketing point of view where you want to be, and NACT is a great example of selling wear clothes for people who are going to those kind of parties. And yeah, and at this point, you realize that it's no more underground. There is the term of underground, but this is something else, not like the Detroit underground scene 30 years ago.
yeah.
Or Berlin scene 20 years ago.
Mm.
It's different.
But maybe if this genre is not underground anymore, there's another underground to come and replace it. I mean, we are looking at electronic music right now, but maybe we can also look at other genres. Like I'm thinking about punk music, maybe, at least in Paris. I feel like this is where this is one of the free spaces now when you go to a punk concert. But I would like to dive more into the pandemic, because you just spoke about how it was like it had impact on the whole new generation that wasn't able to come before because of all the clubs that closed. When we talked earlier that day, Jacob, you told me that the pandemic really felt like the moment where, like the pandemic moment was when you really felt like you were underground and not part of the main culture. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about how the pandemic hit was for the underground scene as a manager and then as artists as well?
It was really difficult for the artists and for me, because we are a young company, and I'm working with a young artist too. So it was a big stop for me and for the artist too. But the fact, in comparison with the other culture, so theater and everything, the club was the first place to close during the pandemic, and the last one to reopen. And we saw in France there is a big venue, Bercy. We saw rap concert with 5,000 people, and for me it was a bit crazy to see that, and it wasn't possible for the government. It wasn't the right time to reopen the club, and that's why I felt really underground. It's like more than I don't know. It was. Je sais pas.
No, but you're right. We felt like if we were like, how to say, shit, because you see the main culture, as you say, hip hop music and stuff, reopening concert, theater, cinema and stuff, and the last one were the clubs. Officially, because we were able to find some illegal warehouse parties, but if you want to go into some venue and stuff, yeah, we were the last. So you felt like, okay, I'm not part of the culture. So if I'm not part of this, maybe I'm underground. They don't realize that we are also part of it, and maybe and even more important than the main one, because if we have to define the underground scene, we are those one who try to define and to build what will be the future of music, what will be the future of the sound. So yeah.
I think that it's also funny that we complain about being underground and not receiving help when we make the most pride of being underground. And so like it's nice to be underground in the right times, and then we complain to the state when we don't get help when it's the hard times. So it's really hard to position ourselves.
That's why I'm not looking forward to be underground. I don't give a fuck being underground, really. If I can, I will tell this. If I can make a lot of money with techno music and everything, I will be happy for my artists. I will be happy for my company, and we will be happy for the. If it's qualitative music, it's cool for me. But if I'm selling shitty music, it will be a problem. But I'm not selling my my soul right now. But I think the next step is to use the chord of the pop music on. I think some of the, for example, Live from Earth are using the pop chords to promote their artists. You know, one release who really make a twist for me was Kev Coco on DJ Gigola. Their vocals on. It was cool. I could play it in my party with my friend, and they were telling me, "Oh, it's cool. It's not so dark and everything." And I think it was for me at this moment. I understand that we can do something cool for everybody. This music can be universal.
KAIVA, do you relate to this? Like notably considering your last releases that have involved some of your vocals as well, that have received a lot of good returns.
She released on the Live from Earth.
What?
She released on Live from Earth.
Yes, definitely. And before I was talking about this pressure to, have a position in the scene and to like find my sound and whatever. And this is exactly like, this is my thing, to just have, because I have like a big range of influences, different genres and stuff. So also with Live from Earth, I feel really free to do what I want to do. And it doesn't even have to be techno. I think if I would present them an acoustic album, and if they would like it, they would release it. So this is like the place where I feel free, and yeah,
that must be really freeing.
And the fact that you are a great example of what's going on, because like 5 years ago, even less, put some vocals into your techno tracks could be something really, really bad.
I could have done something like acid.
Yes, yeah.
Acid or...
Acid.
Yeah.
Exhale. Power. No, but this is true, because I saw pictures who tried to make some jokes about underground music, and they said that if you are putting FXs, vocals, and stuff like this, you cannot make underground techno. But now it's common, so that's why again it changed, and we have to deal with that.
So you already gave some elements of answer, but how would you describe the underground scene today? How is it evolving? What trends are there, notably from your location point of view, like Paris, Munich, Berlin as well? Yeah.
Can I start? Yeah. No, but for me now, it's no more about, yes, for sure, it's about music, but it's more about the experience, what you are really living into, this kind of party, into the dark and stuff. So now it's more about this than living the music. So now underground is really an experience. You feel that you are free, you can be naked, you can do what you want respectfully, but yeah. So it's more about an experience than something else for me.
In terms of the music genre, do you see something as well? Like we had this talk with Introversion at the last BDME edition, where he was saying that it was going faster and faster, and that he personally wanted to have more diversity of genres. And this is something that also Mac Duclos said, UR Tracks, when I interviewed them. And I was wondering if you also agreed, and if you feel like this is what the artists are asking for right now, more diversity.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I think it's more about the groove now. Looking for the groove, and the groove is everywhere. It's why mental techno is coming back, and it's really a big trend now. Vida. But yeah, music is not for me like the hybrid thing. So there is techno and trance, techno and breakbeat, and in this hybrid music you have really a lot of freedom, and that's defined like cool for me, because as a label manager and manager, I can release everything I want, and there is no limit in the possibility to. And I have more freedoms than 3 years ago. I think that's cool. That's cool. More space for everyone. And of course, it's going faster, but some artists are coming back with a lower BPM, and they are playing a lot, so it's good.
No, yeah, quite agree with you. And that's the cool stuff now today. The fact that the underground scene, the electronic music producer and techno producer are now allowed to bring more diversity into their production, but also into their set. For instance, I have some in my mind some Aneta set where she put some Brazilian music between two techno tracks, and now you are allowed to do this. And that's the cool stuff, because people are more and more open-minded about this than before. I don't know why, but that's also the cool stuff. And this is the same with the vocals. Now you are allowed to do what you want. If you want to put some Brazilian vocal, or or R&B samples. You now do what you want, and that's the cool stuff in this scene. We have a lot of sad bad stuff, but the cool part is now we are more and more allowed to bring diversity into the electronic music scene.
KAIVA, would you agree that there is more freedom, that the trend of the underground right now is to go towards more diversity?
I think I have a good example, because yesterday or last night I played on an event, and it was really like the lineup and also the crowd was super hard techno. Like all the other artists played super fast sound. For me, it was faster and harder than what I normally play. And I decided to just play my sound, just go into more hard groove and more melodic, transy. And I was super afraid, because I had no idea how they will react, because everyone told me the people here like hard sound, and that's like the normal thing they listen to here. So they expect me to play that, actually. And I started to play, and it was crazy, because I realized the more soft I get, like the softer I get, the more they liked it, and like the most melodic tracks I played, and I was like really afraid, like putting the track, and I was like, okay, we'll see. And they loved it so much, and this was crazy, because it was like a really open-minded crowd, actually. So I think that's when I realized, okay, this is the future. We can be more experimental and just, you know, try to do what we like and not what the mainstream wants us to play.
That's also a very good piece of advice to give. Looking forward, how can we now best support the underground according to you, as the public, as the artists as well, maybe by playing like the songs that you want, but do you have some elements on what we could implement when we go out of this room to be more supportive? I don't know. Jacob, I see that you are a bit...
Maybe just be open for new music and like new genres, new influences, and maybe also for the mainstream music, you know, because sometimes I feel like if it's mainstream, I try to not like it just because it's mainstream. Do you know that? Yeah. And that's also like a mistake. Maybe just be open for every kind of music.
So the mainstream / underground position is not really longer relevant to you, or does it still have a meaning?
Depends.
Oh,
Depends. As just you said, if it's just the fact that be against the mainstream because you are too cool to listening mainstream music, no, you're wrong. But if, yeah, I don't know, because if you want, for instance, support all the underground scene and stuff, the best way to do this is just to, you know, be open to new kind of music and not just stuck into one genre and say, yeah, okay, I don't want to go to this breakbeat party because it's not art stuff and blah blah blah. So if you want to support and be, you know, how to say, fit with your mind and your soul, be just open to new stuff, new music, and not only stuck into art techno and blah blah blah. So for me, this is the better way to support the underground scene, because you never know what's going next.
yes, we need to stay open, because you know there is a trend now. It's art techno, like possession techno. It's not name dropping. It's like a fact. Voxnox possession. It's a main trend. It's really art, really fast. But before it was the industrial techno trend, and some of the guys stay stuck in this trend and now are hating. They hate the possession vibe, and they think, oh, it's really shit. We are the real techno. And the other ones, which are doing mental techno, we are doing the real techno. You're playing too fast. Or just stay open. Just listen to the I don't know, mate. But stay open and
as long as it speaks to you, then it's.
Hmm?
As long as it speaks to you,
yeah,
that's the main important thing.
Don't be a hater. That's really important. Yeah, good vibes. Only good vibes. Family vibe, you know. It's a joke between us, because this family vibe is really a trend in techno. But I think it's only marketing, and like underground is only marketing. Everything is only marketing, and because we are using, you know, Instagram to promote ourselves, and it's a thing for influencer, you know, and that's what we try to avoid. But we need to use this code to promote ourselves and to promote something more open, and to do something different. That's the other. It's really important.
So being more open, that's kind of the conclusion of what we had to say about underground techno.
Always try to go against the wave, you know. Like, for instance, I think maybe you are feeling the same here in Berlin, but now a day in Paris, we got this really hard stuff, and the easy stuff to be underground now is to make the total opposite of the scene today. So if you want to be underground, do some smooth stuff, really slow, and you're gonna be an underground producer. No, but that's true. Maybe it's gonna be this in future. So let's see. I don't hope, but let's see.
Well, I'm kind of running out of questions, so that might be the final word. Do you agree with opening the floor for questions right now?
Sure.
Are there any questions about what was said, or comments if you disagree or agree? Well, it feels like everyone's tired, maybe from last night.
Yeah, maybe get some rest before the party tonight. Yeah, you should so, because it's gonna be really.
Yeah, where are you playing?
Really hot
already?
Host
Club
Club,
Host,
OST Club.
The both of you, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, all right. Well, looking forward to seeing you there.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
being here and having this talk. And yeah, see you tonight.
Thanks.
See
a
you
lot.
tonight.